Hey everybody, my name is James. I'm a current CG Spectrum game design student, and today I'm going to go over network replicated launching of a character. I originally had this in a single player game, and it worked great. Basically, a large burst of movement would happen in the direction that the camera was facing. No matter if it was up or down or side to side, whichever way I was looking, it would launch my character a large distance in that direction, of course set by me. Now, I built this out as a function originally, so I could put more functionality into it, like playing effects, that kind of thing, whenever the launch happens. Right now, it is just the very core functionality of launching the character. So this is the single player version, right? Whenever the function was called, which is sniper traversal, it would get the first person camera, get the rotation, get the vector, return that vector, and multiply it by 5,000, and then use that to determine my launch velocity for my launch character. Now in single player, it works great. I had no problems with it, but this is going to be a multiplayer game. So if I go out here, I press the traversal button, I can shoot up in the direction that I'm facing. This works reliably. Now, whenever I moved it to the networked version or the replicated version, I was able to get the character to move along the X and Y axis like this, but it never recognized, the server never recognized any kind of Z vector transform. So if I looked up along the Z axis, the server did not recognize that. No matter what I did, I tried multicasting, I tried server, then multicasting, I tried all kinds of things, and it did not work. After about 4 hours of research, I finally figured out what it is. So let me open up the replicated version. Just one moment here while I open up this project. Let's get into our network test. Basically, I figured out that, everything's going to need to be multiplayer, so I started a new branch of my project so I can play around without hurting too much. So here's my project, the networked version, slowly incorporating networking into each component. Let me open up the level. All right, so here's how the code changed. If I go out to the event graph, I've actually removed the sniper traversal event completely. It still exists, but I no longer activate it through any kind of inputs. I actually had to change the way I did it quite a bit and keep it all within the event graph for it to work. Why that is, I'm not sure. It would not pass that z-axis for the camera once again. So here's how I did it. Essentially, whenever the input is called, I'm going to go ahead and get the player character, get the character's movement, and check a couple of things here to see if it's falling. I can't do if it's falling, but then the real meat of it is going to be right here. So if you get the first person camera, right, drag the reference from that, it is replicated. I got the world rotation, I got the forward vector, and I set a new variable that I created, a variable or a vector variable called camera forward vector. Now my idea is that I would need to pass this to the server, right? Since it wasn't seeming to get the entire vector, I'm going to create a vector variable and have it passed to the server. That was my idea. So here is where I do that, right? I'm setting the camera forward vector to match the forward vector of the actual player's camera. Then I create a server sniper event, custom event, right? So custom event, right click, custom event, and then I have a server um, event happen. This is reliable and it does run on server only. And then basically what I'm doing is once I have this set up, you can call the server sniper traversal after your set of this, right? So the chain of events, it's setting this vector and then it's passing this vector in to the server. So from here, it's going to finish out that logistics, but none of this really matters. But once this happens, right, I'm able to get that pass camera vector from where it was here and pull out that camera vector. Now that the server has it, right, because this is a server event, now the server has it, and it can tell it to basically multiply it by that 5,000 and then launch my character that far, right? So it's passing along this variable. Without passing along that variable, it does not work. And passing this along only works in the event graph. You cannot use the function that I had earlier set up. So this is the key here, is basically getting it to where um, my player is calling the server event to move my character, right? And then multiply it by 5,000 and then launch my character. So now whenever I open up a networked version where my computer is acting as a client to a dedicated server, go here, and you'll see I have two different clients set up here. Both of them are clients, neither are servers, like a listen server. It is not that. They're both clients. Get these side by side here. So now we come over here. I can, since I am a client once again, I'm going to tell my server by pressing this button to launch my character instead of my character launching itself. And it works just fine. Yes, it's a huge amount, but I'm just doing it for testing for now. It is for a pounce mechanic from far away, but it works just great. It's fully replicated, works perfectly. If I switch over to the other client here, it's also able to launch this character around, and it works awesomely. So again, it looks like whenever you're trying to pass around specifically that vector, it could not take it from within a function. I had to put it back in the event graph and pass it through the events by creating a vector variable within that event. Super important. And again, I looked for hours for the solution, could not find it. So I figured I'd make a video for you all explaining how to do that. You can make many mechanics out of this, but basically this is the way to get your camera transformation and pass it to the server and move your character around based on that transformation. All right, thank you.